The hidden truth about meditation and anxiety relief. What if everything you've been taught about calming your mind is only half the truth? For years, we've been told that meditation is the go-to remedy for anxiety. Close your eyes, breathe deep, picture a calm lake, a quiet forest, a peaceful you. And yet, so many of us try this, and end up feeling more restless. Why? Let me tell you about Tom. He's 52, a retired paramedic who's seen more trauma than most of us can imagine. After leaving the job, anxiety hit him like a wave he couldn't swim out of. He tried everything: headspace, yoga, breathing apps, even a silent retreat. Each time, the same outcome: the more he tried to calm down, the louder his thoughts became. And that's when someone handed him a book on Zen Buddhism. Inside, one sentence shook him. Stop trying to control the mind. Just sit with it. That was the turning point. He realized, meditation isn't about forcing peace. It's about being present with what is, even when that includes anxiety. So here's the hidden truth most people miss. Meditation doesn't fix anxiety. It teaches you how to stop fearing it. Let that settle in for a second. We'll get deeper into this idea in a moment, but first, we need to understand why we've misunderstood anxiety for so long, and what Buddhist wisdom actually says about it. To truly shift our experience with anxiety, we have to look at it through a different lens. Let's start by unlearning what we've been taught, and explore the Buddhist view almost no one talks about. Why anxiety persists. The Buddhist view you never hear. Buddha never said anxiety is the enemy, so why do we keep fighting it? Let's take a moment to ask something honest. What if your anxiety isn't a problem to fix, but a message to understand? In Western culture, we're conditioned to see anxiety as a malfunction. Something's wrong with you. You're overthinking. You need to calm down. So we treat it like a fire to extinguish. Breathe deeper. Try harder. Push the feeling away. But Buddhism offers a radically different lens. Not to escape anxiety, but to understand it. Dukkha. What the Buddha really taught. Buddha used the word dukkha to describe life's fundamental unease. It's often translated as suffering, but it's deeper than that. Dukkha means the tension that arises when we cling to what we like, and resist what we don't. Anxiety is a form of dukkha. Not a personal failure. Not a disorder in all cases, but a natural ripple in the stream of life when we struggle against uncertainty. Here's where it gets profound. In Buddhism, pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. It's our resistance to what we feel that creates ongoing pain. So let me tell you about Mary's story, the guilt of a busy mind. Mary is 48. She's a high school teacher who started meditating after her doctor warned her about chronic stress. She bought a fancy cushion, set up a little corner in her living room, and committed to 15 minutes each morning. But she had a secret. Every time she sat down to meditate, her thoughts would race. Did I respond to that parent email? Why did that student snap at me? Why do I feel like I'm not enough? And instead of feeling peace, she felt shame. Why can't I do this right? Why is my mind broken? Here's what no one had told Mary. The goal of meditation isn't to stop the mind. It's to see it clearly, without judgment. In Zen, there's a practice called shikantaza, or just sitting. No mantras, no music, no effort to change anything. You sit, and you observe, not to fix, but to understand. When Mary let go of the pressure to clear her mind, she discovered that her thoughts softened all on their own. Modern self-help often says, control your thoughts. Take charge of your mind. But Buddhist psychology says the opposite. Your thoughts are clouds. You are the sky. Anxiety persists not because you're doing something wrong, but because you're trying too hard to make it go away. Zen master Shunryu Suzuki once said, "When you try to calm your mind, you only disturb it further. Think about that. The more we resist anxiety, the more it grows. But when we allow it to arise, without feeding it, judging it, or fleeing it, it begins to pass through us, like a breeze. The second arrow of suffering. There's a well-known Buddhist metaphor called the two arrows. The first arrow is life itself, pain, uncertainty, loss. The second arrow is how we react to that pain, fear, self-blame, judgment. You can't always stop the first arrow, but you can stop the second. Anxiety may be the first arrow. But thinking, I shouldn't feel this, I'm weak, I need to get rid of it, that's the second. Buddhism teaches us to gently remove that second arrow. So here's a thought to carry with you today. What if your next anxious moment wasn't a failure, but a chance to pause and observe? You don't have to fix anything. You just have to sit with it, breathe with it, and remember, it's okay to feel what you feel. Just like a storm, anxiety passes more easily when you stop trying to chase it away. Imagine Mary again, this time, sitting quietly on her living room cushion. No music, no pressure. Just the ticking clock, a deep breath, and a soft smile of self-acceptance. That's the beginning of healing. If any part of you has ever felt guilty for having a racing mind, know this: you're not alone. And you're not doing it wrong. Now that we've seen why anxiety stays with us, and what Buddhism actually teaches, let's go deeper. Up next, we'll explore the Zen method itself. A gentle practice where peace isn't something you chase, it's something you uncover by simply sitting. The Zen method. Meditation without forcing inner peace. Peace doesn't come from silencing the mind, but from sitting beside it. Without fear. Let's be honest. Most of us approach meditation with a goal in mind. I want to feel calm. I want the anxiety to go away. I want to reach peace. But here's the quiet truth from Zen Buddhism. The moment you try to force peace, you push it further away. Zen doesn't offer flashy promises. It doesn't give you a 10-step plan or a mantra to fix your mind. Instead, it offers something simpler and far more profound. Zazen, the practice of just sitting. The heart of Zen meditation is called Zazen, which literally means seated meditation. But unlike other styles you may know, Zazen doesn't ask you to control your breath, clear your mind, or visualize anything. You simply sit and observe. Eyes half open. Back upright. Breath flowing naturally. Thoughts come and go, and you don't chase them. You don't try to do anything. You don't even try to meditate well. You just sit, that's it. And slowly, something shifts, not because you make it shift, but because you finally stop interfering. Derek's story, finding peace in stillness. Let me tell you about Derek. He's 59, a retired Marine and father of 3. After leaving the service, Derek struggled with restlessness and emotional numbness. Therapy helped, but he still couldn't shake the feeling that his mind was constantly on patrol. He tried different meditation styles, guided ones, breathing exercises, even chanting. But nothing stuck. Then he came across a Zen center near his home. It was quiet, simple, no music, just people sitting. He was skeptical. How's sitting there doing nothing supposed to help me? But something about the stillness called to him. He started attending their weekly sessions. At first, his thoughts were relentless, memories, worries, random nonsense. But no one told him to stop them. No one said he was doing it wrong. And over time, something unexpected happened. He didn't feel blissed out or euphoric. But he felt anchored. Rooted, like for the first time in years. He could just be. Derek told me. It wasn't that my mind got quieter. It was that I stopped making noise about the noise. That's the Zen shift. The power of non-doing. We live in a culture that idolizes effort. Work harder, optimize, improve, fix. But Zen invites us into a sacred kind of non-doing. Not laziness, not apathy. But the wisdom to pause, to let go of the need to get somewhere. It teaches. When you stop grasping at peace, peace finds you. This kind of meditation isn't always comfortable at first. There are no quick dopamine hits, no dramatic breakthroughs. But over time, it builds something deeper, a grounded presence, a quiet trust. You begin to notice. The breath is enough. The moment is enough. You are enough. Even in anxiety, even in discomfort, especially then. How to try Zazen at home. You don't need a temple or a fancy cushion to begin. Here's a simple way to start. Find a quiet space, sit upright, either on a cushion or in a chair. Keep your spine straight but not stiff. Rest your hands gently in your lap. Keep your eyes half open. Don't focus on anything, just soften your gaze. Let your breath come and go naturally. No need to control it. Allow thoughts to come and go. Don't chase, judge, or analyze. Just return to your sitting. Start with 5 minutes. That's enough. And remember, you're not trying to succeed. You're just showing up. Imagine Derek at home, sitting by a window in early morning light. There's no phone, no timer, no background music, just him, the breath, and the quiet hum of life around him. He's not chasing peace, he's resting into it. So here's today's reflection. Meditation isn't about fixing your anxiety. It's about learning to sit beside it without fear. You don't need to reach a special state. You don't need to be perfect or peaceful. You just need to be present, as you are. And that is enough. If this approach to meditation feels like a relief, not another task, maybe try it today. Just 1 minute, just sit, nothing more. But here's something most people aren't prepared for. Sometimes, once you sit still long enough, things rise up from within. Emotions, memories, feelings we've tucked away. So in the next part, let's talk about what happens after sitting, when silence brings up more than we expected. The emotional aftershock. How to handle what meditation brings up. Sometimes, silence doesn't calm the storm, it reveals it. You sit down to meditate. You do everything right. You follow the breath. You let the thoughts pass. And just when you start to feel still, something unexpected shows up. A memory. A wave of sadness. Tightness in your chest you can't explain. Tears you weren't expecting. If that's ever happened to you, you're not broken. You're healing. Why this happens? The stillness effect. When we stop distracting ourselves, the noise outside fades. And the noise inside gets louder. It's not a flaw in the practice. That's the point. In Buddhist psychology, it's understood that the mind stores more than thoughts. It stores emotion, habit, memory. And when we create space through meditation, what's been buried begins to rise. This is sometimes called the emotional aftershock. A phase where meditation becomes less about calm and more about confronting what we've avoided. And yes, it can be uncomfortable. But it's also an invitation to something deeper. Real release. Let me tell you about Paul's story, what silence revealed. Paul is 63, a widower. He started meditating 2 years after his wife passed, at the suggestion of a grief counselor. At first, he hated it. Sitting there, I thought I was going to crawl out of my skin. But something in him knew he needed the quiet. So he kept showing up, day after day. And then, one morning, in that stillness, grief surfaced. Not the sharp kind from the early days of loss, but a deep ache, the kind that had been buried under responsibilities, routines, and the unspoken feeling of being alone. Paul cried that morning. He sat and let the waves come. He didn't run. He didn't try to analyze it. He just let it move through him. It didn't fix the sadness, he told me. But I wasn't afraid of it anymore. That's the shift. Meeting the uncomfortable with compassion. Meditation teaches us not just to sit with joy or calm, but to sit with everything. Zen doesn't ask you to feel better. It asks you to feel more honestly. When anger shows up, we notice it. When shame rises, we greet it. When sadness whispers, we let it speak. There's no fixing, just being with. And in that space of non-judgment, the emotion starts to loosen its grip. The RAIN practice, rooted in Buddhist mindfulness. If you're not sure how to sit with strong emotion, there's a gentle tool you can use. It's called RAIN, and while it's more modern in form, its heart is deeply Buddhist. Recognize, name what's present. This is anxiety. This is grief. Allow, let it be there, without pushing it away. Investigate, with kindness. Ask, where do I feel this in my body? Nurture, offer yourself compassion. Even something simple like, it's okay to feel this. It's not a fix. It's a way to hold your own experience, like a wise friend holding your hand. Picture Paul again. He's sitting at his kitchen table in the early hours of the morning. Steam rises from his coffee. The sun hasn't come up yet. And he's just sitting, eyes open, quiet, and you can see it on his face. This is a man who's made peace with the waves. Here's something to carry with you. Meditation doesn't always feel good, but it always leads you back to yourself. Sometimes the quiet reveals pain. But more often than not, that pain was already there, just waiting to be met. When you sit with what's hard instead of turning away, you begin to trust that you can hold it. And that changes everything. The next time a strong emotion arises during meditation, try this. Instead of asking, how do I stop this? Gently ask, can I sit with this for just one breath? That's where healing begins. So now you know. Meditation isn't just a calming tool, it's a mirror. And what we see there can be difficult, but also deeply healing. So what's next? Let's talk about how to walk this path gently. How to move forward without chasing perfection. And why the most important part of the journey might be the softest one. The gentle path forward. A real way to heal, not escape. You're not broken, you're just learning to listen in a new way. By now, you've probably realized, meditation isn't what we've been sold in glossy apps and 5-minute hacks. It's not a quick escape from anxiety. It's a quiet return to yourself. And healing doesn't come by forcing your thoughts to stop. It comes when you stop running from them. What the Zen path really offers. Zen doesn't promise that you'll never feel anxious again. It doesn't promise bliss, or enlightenment, or some perfect version of peace. What it does offer is presence. The ability to stay with your experience, gently, without shame. It offers a path where peace isn't achieved. It's remembered. Because you already have what you need. Right now. Right here. Janet's story with peace in small steps. Janet, 61, emailed me after her first month of Zazen. She said, I thought I was failing because I didn't feel calm. But then I realized, I haven't yelled at myself in weeks. I've stopped fighting every emotion. I actually feel okay. That's it. That's the quiet power of this path. No fireworks. Just fewer battles inside your own mind. Here's what I hope you carry with you. You don't have to win at meditation. You only have to show up. Even on the messy days. Even with a noisy mind. Especially then. This practice doesn't demand perfection. It just invites you to come home to a softer, truer part of yourself. If this video gave you even one moment of calm, one breath of relief, then I hope you'll keep going. You're already on the path. And the path is not about arriving, it's about continuing. If you'd like to go deeper, our next video explores the Zen way to let go of control. It's all about releasing the tight grip we keep on life and learning to trust the flow. So I invite you, stay with us. Hit subscribe. Leave a comment about what touched you most today. Or just sit quietly for a few more moments. And breathe.